Hello, John. This is Matthew. Once I started looking at your questions, I thought this would probably be an easier way to explain your answers that you had on here. Let's just start right off the bat. First thing I want to make sure that you do on the test here is on your yard line, make sure that you tell whether it's A's ball or A's 35, B's 35, kicker's 35, receiver's 35. Larry's going to be real picky about that. Also, at any time, you can always pause this video, back it up, or take a look at something, because I'm going to show my answers and my questions and your answers. So if you see something you go, whoa, what was that? You can pause the video and take a look at it. This video will be way too large for me to send it to you through email, so that's why I put it on YouTube. I've been making videos all year. Actually, I just started making videos in February for my AP kids, and I found this to be very, very helpful in having the kids understand what's going on, and this, I think, will help you out as well. So if I say anything weird, go ahead and email me and let me know, hey, what did you mean by that? All right, questions 1 through 3, I got to give you an attaboy. All 3 of those are right off the bat very good. So 1 through 3, you got 100%. Question number 4, I had on the question, actually let me go to the question itself. Question number 4 was one that I was debating with the other guys that I had spoken to. I personally don't have a foul on this. In other words, hands to the face, yeah, I'm sure that Larry's looking for a foul on this, but in the rule book, if you look at rule 9.1.2K, it talks about continuous contact, and the question doesn't say anything about that, but I'm telling you, everybody that I've spoken to has called this a foul. Now, the bad news is, looking back at your answer, I like that you have that this is a foul, but it's not an illegal block. And I do like the idea that you're adding this to the end of the kick, which is very good, because we do want to go from the succeeding spot if we're going to tack on a foul for a kick. However, when we talk about continuous contact to the face, or maybe the foul merits that type of penalty, then that's a big one. That's a 15-yarder. So I think you have this as going as a 10-yard penalty. And again, I personally did not go with it. I'll probably get in trouble for this, but such is life. So if B returns the kick to the A30, we're going to advance A 15 more yards. So since it's not more than half the distance, then the ball should be placed at the A15. Again, B is receiving the ball, so they're advancing the ball past the 50. They catch it somewhere beyond, and they run it back to the 30. So if you're going to call this a penalty, I like the idea that you're calling this a penalty. I think you'll be supported on this, but it should be the A15. So again, they're 15 yards from scoring a touchdown. Question number 5. Question number 5 says Team A kicks a successful field goal. During the play, a Team B linebacker starts 3 yards behind the line, runs forward, leaps in an attempt to block the kick. The center, A60, blocks B40 as he's coming down, causing B40 to land on a teammate. I'm telling you, this question drove me crazy because it's nowhere in the rule book. However, if you go back to the bulletins, the NCAA bulletins from last year, 2010, it's the 3rd bulletin, and it's question number 1. If we look at question number 1, it's crazy, because the bulletins are actually in place of the new rules being implemented as the season's going on without rewriting the rule book. So it says 4th and 10 at the B32, Team A kicks a field goal. Linebacker B56 starts from 2 yards beyond the neutral zone, runs forward, leaps in an attempt to block the kick. He A lands on the ground and barely brushes a snapper A50 as he falls. That's no problem. B lands on either snapper A50 or teammate B76. That's a problem. Or C, and you'll notice that this is highlighted, I didn't do this, is blocked by the snapper A50 as he is coming down from his leap and then lands on any player. Well, the emphasis on this was that since the contact was initiated by the snapper or by a kicking member, we're not going to penalize the linebacker for leaping. So there is no foul on this. So the no foul as a contact is caused by A50's block. And I'm assuming that these will be the new rules that go into the rule book. And again, Larry did post the 2011-2012 rule book on the HCAC website. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. So with that one, I actually had for my rule that A is going to kick off from the A30, and my rule reference is the 2010 NCAA Bulletin number 3 play number 1 situation C. So no foul since the contact was initiated by the snapper. Now again, I'm assuming that these which are highlighted will be where you'll find the new rules in the rule book. So if you want to mark those as your rule references, that's fine. And yeah, let's move on. All right. Number 6. Number 6. 4th and 7 at the A35. Team A has 6 men on the line of scrimmage and 5 in the backfield. B39 catches a punt at his 30-yard line and is tackled at the B35. B then commits a dead ball personal foul. Well, the bad news is the kicking team had 5 men in the backfield. However, we don't have to re-kick this thing. And I'm trying to remember what you had here. So number 6 declines a penalty for the illegal formation. We're actually going to accept that penalty. Make sure that the team accepts that penalty, because what we have is a live ball foul and then followed by a dead ball foul. So we're going to enforce both of those. Now the thing is, since the ball is dead at the B35, what we're going to do is we're going to move the ball up 5 yards, so it'll go to the B40, so we're moving toward A's goal line. And then since we have a dead ball personal foul, we're going to back them up 15. So we move it up to the 40, back it up. So it should be on the 25, and it will be B's ball, or the receiving team's ball. Oops, sorry about that. So B's ball, and so it'll be 1st and 10 at the B25. This is not a PSK. Again, PSK requires that B, or the receiver's foul. Second thing, the ball crosses the expanded neutral zone. 3, that the kick or penalty takes place while the kick is occurring. And 4, A does not have possession of the ball when the play is all done. So we're going to enforce the penalties from the succeeding spot, and then we're going to have a live ball foul. We'll enforce that one first, and then we'll enforce the dead ball foul. So they don't have to cancel any penalties to maintain or retain the ball here. All right, number 7. Team A lines up with 7 linemen and 4 backs. After all players are set, the split end rises and goes in motion while remaining on the line of scrimmage. They run the ball for 7 yards. Okay, the rule in college, and I don't know what the rule is in high school, because I'm trying to forget as many high school rules as possible. However, I do know that the rule in college is no lineman, and definition of lineman is, actually I have it here, 227 4A-1, is that any person, any player that's on the line of scrimmage is considered to be a lineman. And no lineman may be in motion at the snap. Now what can happen is that the split end can go into motion, come set, and then one of the backs move up, or maybe he moves back or something takes place, but at the snap he cannot be in motion. So we've got a live ball foul. As soon as that ball is snapped, now we've got a flag, play continues, because it's not one of those new penalties where it shuts the play down. In high school, we'd shut it down. In college, we let that play run. So what's going to happen is, so we're going to replay the down. If the penalty is accepted, looks like they're going to run the ball for 7 yards, so we'll definitely bring it back. So we start at the A35. We're going to back them up 5 and replay the down. So again, no lineman in motion at the snap. And a lineman, by definition, is any player that's on the line of scrimmage. All right. And I can't remember what you had on that. So you had a legal play, so we'll fix that. Number 8. Let's see here. Number 8. Oops, sorry. Number 8. I love making these videos. They're sweet. Number 8 says 4th and 6 at the B11. Team A lines up for a field goal. The snap goes directly to the kicker, A9, at the B19 where he muffs the ball. The holder, A14, attempts to recover, but he accidentally kicks the ball into the end zone, where it's recovered by A80. All right. We can't say that the ball was kicked. Okay? If it says it was accidentally kicked, and we've all seen where a football player has tried to pick up the ball, and as he's stumbling, bumbling forward, accidentally makes contact. The ball makes contact as it's bouncing around with his leg. Accidental kicks are not illegal kicks. That's huge. So, unfortunately, this is a touchdown. It's a really bad question, and it's really hard to believe that the ball is going to go from the B19 and accidentally get kicked almost 20 yards into the end zone where it's recovered by a player. This is not a fourth down fumble rule. Okay, it is fourth down, but it is not a fourth down fumble rule. By definition, this ball is a backward pass. Since it's a backward pass and the ball was never controlled after it was snapped, it is still a backward pass, which means that this ball can fumble its way into the end zone. So, unfortunately, this is a really bad situation for the defense, but if we deem it to be an intentional kick, we've got a foul. However, since the question here says it was accidentally kicked into the end zone, we got to go with the touchdown. It's going to be a hard one to explain to the coach, especially at the D3 level where you don't have instant replay and can play it back up on the big screen and say, there it is, coach, right there. Take a look at how he tried to pick it up and accidentally hit it with his leg. If he accidentally hits it with his leg, it's nothing, and we let the play go on. So again, by definition, the ball was never possessed, and the A ends up with the ball in the end zone. Not a fourth down fumble rule either. Crappy play, I hate to say it. All right, number 9. So yeah, 4 through 9, you might want to look at again. Number 9. 2nd and 8 at the B38. During A33's touchdown run, Team B grabs A33's face mask. I'm telling you, John, the first time I read this question, I go, boom, we got a flag, 15-yard penalty. We're going to tack it on either on the kickoff, or we're going to take half the yardage for the try. However, when I read this question out loud in front of the group, I was at Cypher's rules meeting, I read this question. I said, during A33's touchdown run, Team B grabs A33's face mask. And I stopped, and everybody's looking at me, and I'm like, my paper says that I have a foul, but this is not a foul. Players can grab the face mask as long as they do not twist, pull, or what's the other one? Twist, pull, or twist, grab. I'm sorry, there needs to be a twist, grab, and a pull. So there has to be a movement with that. We've all seen guys get tackled where they come around from the backside, and as their arms come up around and grab their face mask, as long as they don't tug on that thing or pull that, that's legal. Now, they can't stick their fingers in there and gouge somebody's eye out, but this is just a touchdown run. It is not. And I would definitely, if you saw this, and if you had very good film that will be seen by the supervisor, you'll want to make a note and say, hey, I saw the hand on the face mask. He did grab it, but he didn't twist or pull it, so there's no foul. So, hopefully, by the rule, as the rule states here, Larry's not going to ding us on this, but by definition, this is nothing. All right, 10 and 11. I like your 10 and 11. As long as the 10 and 11 deals with, let's see here, 10 and 11 is B's ball and the safety. I think you had those. Okay, so 10 and 11. Yeah, you're good there. All right, number 12. Let's look at that one. 4th and 9 at the A40. Team A's punt is caught by Team B at the B20 and returned to the B35. During the kick, B44 illegally pushes in the back at the B18. Okay, so we've got a punt, and the ball's returned to the B35. However, since there was an illegal push at the B44, not B44 pushed at the B18. This is our 3-and-1 principle, so we're we're going to make that a spot foul. Even though the end of the run occurred almost 17 yards in front of the foul, we're bringing it back to the 18. So when we look at this, we're actually going to mark it off of half distance enforcement. So, and the 3-and-1 principle applies here. So we've got our penalty, especially on the kick here. We're going to enforce it from the spot of the foul, half the distance to the goal line. And I'm trying to remember what you had there. First and 10 at the B10. Well, you were very, very close. I'm not sure where you marked that. Oh, you might have gone from the B35 on that. That would have been the 20. I'm not sure where you got that, but here's the reference. So we're going to enforce the penalty from the spot of the foul, not from the end of the run. So we've got our pushing it back at the B18. All right, 13. I like your 13. Your 13's good. Game over. B accepts the penalty. It's a loss of down. And by record, you may want to have a reference in there as, I'm trying to remember if it was last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember. But if we have a penalty that's accepted that also has a loss of down associated with that penalty, we do not extend the period. The game is over. So no extension of the period whenever we enforce a penalty that has a loss of down attached to it. So, and again, it's 4th and goal at the B3. Scores 20-21. As time expires in the last play of the 4th quarter, A10 throws an illegal pass 1 yard in front of his line of scrimmage. So an illegal forward pass, it would be a 5-yard penalty, but game's over. We don't care. And we would not even ask A about this. We wouldn't ask B about this. Game's over. All right, 14. Let's see here. 2nd and 5 at the B40. The quarterback hands the ball to a running back who breaks free for an obvious touchdown. When the runner is at the B10, a Team A player in his bench area, the B45, yells, points, and taunts to a Team B player. This action is flagged by the line judge, who just so happens to be standing next to there. All right, now the new rule this year is that if we have an unsportsmanlike foul before the touchdown takes place, that is our spot of the penalty. However, that only applies to players on the field during the play. So if you've got somebody that's a bench personnel, where is it? Oh man, where are you? A player in the bench area. So he's not participating in the play. Had he been participating in the play and got pushed out, and then that took place, boom, we're going to spot that foul right there. However, he is not participating in the play, but we still are going to tack on 15 yards. However, this enforcement is a live ball foul treated as a dead ball foul. And I guarantee you, when you look in the rule book, you're going to see that that is clearly stated. I know at Honig we talked about this. So we're going to enforce the penalty from the succeeding spot. So it's a touchdown, since it's a live ball foul treated as a dead ball foul. So we're going to do the touchdown, count the touchdown, and the try could be from either the 18 or kickoff half the distance. In other words, we'd kick from the 30, we'd back them up to the 15. It's the defense's call on this. Okay? All right. 15. Let's see here. 3rd and 5 at the B48. Receiver A88 accidentally steps on the sideline while running his pass pattern. A legal forward pass is thrown to receiver A80. However, he muffs the ball, and it's caught by A88, who happened to step out of bounds accidentally. A88 advances the ball to the B25. All right. Well, initially, the initial contact by the pass was made by another offensive player. However, since he muffed the ball and it was never possessed, okay, had the ball been possessed and caught, and then this action took place where he then maybe fumbled the ball, we're good. However, A88 may not touch the ball until it's either possessed by A, it's been touched by B, or it's been touched by an official. Okay? So just by the sole action of A80 touching the ball does not get rid of that accidental stepping out of bounds. So what we do is we have a flag, because whoever the deep wing is on this play is watching the action. He sees the guy go out of bounds. He throws a cap down on the ground to signify that he saw how A88 got out of bounds. And when he sees A88 touch the ball before B or before an official touches the ball, he's got to throw a flag now at that spot. Doesn't really matter if it hits the spot because there's no penalty. There's no yard penalty enforcement on here. So it's going to be fourth down and 5 at the B48. It's just a loss of down penalty. No yardage loss. All right, 16, 17, and 18. You are golden, man. 16, 17, and 18. So these are all good. I like that. Go ahead and make sure that you put on here the A's and the B's and all that good stuff. I believe that all three of these are B. B3, B25, B20. Okay, so double check that. I think that's right, though. All right, 19. And again, as I'm going through these, you can pause and take a look at what I've got written there for your rule references and whatnot. All right, let's see. 19. It says second 10 at the A33. Team A snaps the ball with flanker A8 positioned near the sideline. The runner is advancing the ball on a sweep to A8 side when A8 blocks B10 below the waist and at the A32. A8's block is away from the sideline and the runner is down at the A40. All right. Nice thing for you, John, this rule. We used to have some weird, and it never applied to me because I was an umpire, but we always had this 10-yard no block zone, and then once you got beyond that 10 yards, you could block low and toward the ball. But before this year, no player could crack back toward the ball and block below the waist, or just below the waist. We'll leave it at that. So now the rule's been changed to say that you can no longer block away from an adjacent sideline. So if I'm on the right side of the field and I'm running downfield and I want to do a block low, I have to make sure that I'm actually blocking toward the sideline. I can't block away from the sideline. So if I'm running down the sideline and I see a player that's standing on the numbers, I can't block him low. Okay? So it doesn't matter if it's 10 yards, 3 yards, or 50 yards downfield. You cannot block away from the sideline. So once you get on the other half of the field, now you can block toward the sideline. So we have it in. This is no longer a 10-yard foul, but this is a big one. This is a personal foul. So you got to go north-south or toward the sideline if you're planning on blocking low. And again, much, much different than in high school. High school, you don't get to block low anywhere. College, man, they're flying. So I've got ace ball, second and 25 at the A18. So we're going to penalize the foul. Let's see here. So waste at the A32. Okay, so the A32, but where'd the end of the run take place? A40. So let's see, why am I going to go 15? That's it, 15 from the A32, and that should be the A18. I think my math is right on that. I'm sorry, A32 is correct. Yeah, no, A32 is behind the line, so we're going from the A33. Boy, I had to think about that one. Sorry, John. So we're going from the previous spot since the block was behind the line of scrimmage. Okay, remember A wants to go to B sideline. So, yeah. Sorry. All right, 20. I like your 20. Let's see. 20, you have a safety and a free kick. Okay. So 20 I like. Crosses a neutral. Oh, I really like this. Okay. Let me give you a scenario here. Okay. A's number 20, 4th and 20 at the A3. Team A's punt from behind its own goal line, crosses the neutral zone and strikes a Team B player, and rebounds back across Team A's goal line. A5 falls on the ball. Okay. One thing that I really want you to learn, John, is that a kick is a kick until it's either dead by rule or it's no longer a kick. In other words, it's possessed by somebody. Okay? This is huge. I got burned my very first year working a Marion game because I didn't help somebody. I didn't give them credible information to bail out the crew. And our crew bit it hard. my first year. Here's a scenario that took place. Not this scenario. It was another safety that was called. However, the reason why this is a safety, okay, the ball was kicked. It struck a B player on the other side of the line of scrimmage. So the ball went forward. Okay, it was kicked out. It struck a B player, but the B player never possessed the ball. It simply hit the B player, and as a reaction, the ball rebounding off of B, it came back toward the punter into A's end zone. So it went out and then it came back. The status of that ball is still a kick. The reason why it's still a kick is because nobody has possessed that ball. I mean, nobody has grabbed that ball. It is not dead by rule. In other words, it hasn't gone out of bounds. It's not lying still. A didn't illegally touch it. Okay, so all those things did not take place. The ball's still moving. So the reason why the ball is in A's end zone is because the ball was kicked. The kick struck a B player and it rebounded back in. Okay? Since A landed on that ball, okay, it's bad luck for A, but it cannot be advanced. And a kick cannot be advanced by a Team A player. Okay? So the bad news is they're going to have to take a safety because the ball ended up in the end zone. Now, let me throw you another scenario. Let's say that the same thing takes place. The ball's kicked. It hits a rebound, or rebounds off of a B player beyond the line of scrimmage, and it stops at the 1 yard line where A jumps on it. What do you got? Is it B's ball? Is it A's ball? And if it is B's ball, how is it B's ball? If it's A's ball, what down is it? Is it 4th down? Are we going to re-kick it? Okay, think about it. Pause your video and look this up for a second. It's actually going to be A's ball, 1st and 10, because what happened is the contact was made by B. They touched it on the other side of the line of scrimmage. So now A can get possession back in a new series. I think that is the same rule for high school. So they can advance the ball, but they have to stop it before it gets in the end zone. If it gets in the end zone, they have to land on it to keep B from getting a touchdown. All right, I thought I'd throw that out there. You got this question right. A was great. All right, 21 we need to look at. You actually only have 2 more questions that are a little incorrect. All right, 21. 21's one of them, and the last one's the other one. All right, 21 says, a kickoff from A30. Team A executes an onside kick, and the ball is untouched at the A36, where a member of the kicking team blocks an opponent above the waist at the A38. The ball is then touched by Team A at the A39 and recovered by Team B at the A42. Whew. So they're trying an onside kick here. Okay, so the ball is untouched at the A36 when a member of the kicking team blocks an opponent above the waist at the A38. Okay? The ball is then touched by a Team A player at the A39. Okay, so we have illegal touching, so we better have a beanbag down because this ball has not gone 10 yards yet. Okay? And then the ball is recovered by Team B at the A42. Okay? All right. Do we have a foul? Let's see. What did you put on here? Illegal touching by A. I like that. Illegal touching by A. However, no member of the kicking team may legally block any opponent or a member of the B team until that ball is done what? It's got to go 10 yards. So we've got an illegal block. Now, what is the yardage for this illegal block? During my meeting, there were quite a few guys going, oh yeah, illegal blocks are 10 yards. For kicks, they're only 5 yards. Okay, so now you've got a whole nother situation here. Okay, we've got a penalty and we've got illegal touching. If we accept this penalty, illegal touching is gone. Okay, look up the rule on illegal touching. If a penalty is accepted, the illegal touch is gone. So we've got the ball. B has the ball recovered at the A42. The ball was illegally touched at the A39. Remember, we've got an illegal block. So if we accept this penalty, we can give B a better position by taking the ball, placing the ball on the A42 and moving it forward 5 yards. And that's exactly what they want to do. So we're going to make this, B's ball, 1st and 10 at the at the A37, I think. Yeah, 37. Okay. And again, we're going to waive off the illegal touching since the penalty was accepted. Okay, double check on looking at illegal touching. I'm glad you used the phrase illegal touching instead of first touching. First touching is a high school reference. I always use the term illegal touch, even on the high school field. All right, 22, 23, and 24. I like what you got there. Personal foul, 40, 33, good stuff. All right, last question. Number 25. 2nd and 5 from the A40. Team A runs the ball to the A49 during the run. Team A holds at the A45. Oh. You have, here's what you have. You have, let's see, A's ball 3rd and 10 at the 35. Okay. So Team A runs the ball to the A49 during the run. Team A holds at the A45. So we've got the end of the run at the 49. We've got the hold at the 45. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to throw the flag and hit the spot. That's a spot foul. It's not behind the line of scrimmage. So we're going to march our penalty from the A45. Okay, again, this is the 3-and-1 principle. The end of the run was the A49. We're actually going to mark it from the spot behind the end of the run, which is the A45. An illegal block, or I'm sorry, a hold, not an illegal block. A hold is a 10-yard penalty. So we're going to take it back to the A35, which means that it's going to be 2nd down. We're going to repeat the down, and we're going to go from the 35, which makes it now 2nd and 10. Okay, so you had 3rd and 10 from the 35. Yeah, you just had the wrong down on that. Not bad. John, you missed a couple on here. Not too bad. And again, look at number 10. Let's do that real quick. Number 10 on your wording, you have first touching on here. Make that illegal touching. And I'm looking at your other notes here. I think you're okay. Oh, what do I have? Number 16. I've got. What do I have circled? I have 1st and 10 circled on number 16. Let me look at 16. And again, I'm looking at the paper that I was circling earlier. 16. 1st and goal. Okay. I did this a lot. The ball is on the 3-yard line going in. Make sure that says 1st and goal. So 16, make that 1st and goal, not 1st and 10. Yeah, Larry's a stickler on that. I think that's it. So John, I hope this video's helped out. I know it's a lot easier to explain it by discussing the plays and the different scenarios. My kids actually love these videos that I make for chemistry because I get on a rant and they crack up. So hopefully this was humorous as well as a learning experience for you. And don't get down, man. I'm telling you, it takes a long time to figure these rules out. That's why college football is so much fun, because they've got such squirrely ass rules. But you're gonna do fine. You're gonna do fine. One thing, with being the white hat, you want to try to get yourself as far away from the high school rules as possible if you want to do college ball. So on Friday nights, I'm going to be there to help you out, man. But if you ask me about a rule reference, I'm more than likely going to give you a college rule. Hey, I'll talk to you later. I hope this video's helped, man. Talk to you later.